with James Kirkland. Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical, intellectual stew, informative and inspirational. How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do. Intellectual stew. Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland. Intellectual stew. Seems like you got a nice little groove right there. I ain't gonna mess you up. Go ahead and get your little groove on, Jarvis. I see you, yes, sir.
Yeah, listen to that little mix right there.
man, my musician now, man, we came up with that in probably 30 seconds. It was crazy how we came up with it, man. I told him I needed some theme music for my show. I told him I wanted something neo soulish, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The jazzy, and he plays for me through church. So of course, you know, we already had our connection there. So when he started playing that the little jazz chords, I said, intellectual stew.
Oh, that's you.
Okay. I like that. Oh, yeah, that was me. He said, oh, I like that. I said, then he said, do that again. Then man, we just we recorded. So,
let him use you. Let him use you. I know.
He does, man. He does, man. Man, what's up? What it do? Time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirkland. And I got my boy with me, my homeboy, straight out of Arkansas, now living in Atlanta, chef extraordinaire, worldwide recognized business owner, all that, father, husband, all that. Jarvis, tell me what it do, Mr. Talley.
I don't know what to do. I'm trying to make sure you're talking about me, baby.
Did I say something? If I got something wrong, let me know so I can correct it.
Yeah, no, man. I'm gonna receive all of that.
Doing your thug fizzle, man. That's good, man. That's good. So, man, let's it might be just me and you. Avery might jump in here in a little while. I had some ladies I invited on, but we're praying for one. One's kind of dealing with some health challenges right now. Hey, my sister, that's my little sister Kim, in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I had a young lady I wanted to get on, but she's having some health challenges right now. So we're praying for her that she would recover because she's going through something. And if she's able to jump on, she will. If not, if anybody else wants to link and y'all want to jump in and give some comments, commentary to the conversation that we have tonight, feel free, please, man. Feel free, please, sir. Send me an inbox. I have no problem. I'll let you in. Let's talk. We got kind of open mic night. Jarvis, I told them they could ask questions tonight. So if they have a question they want to ask and they want a male perspective on it, I'm single. I'm divorced. I was married 20 years. Jarvis is still married. He's been married. How many years now, Jarvis?
What do you mean still? 18. Like you just waiting on the lane? Like come with an expiration date.
My bad. That did come out wrong. It did come wrong.
Sorry, he's still married.
Jarvis is a husband. So
what's up, Kimberly Fox?
That's my little sister. That's my biological sister too, Kimberly.
That's
Fox.
What's up, man.
That's
family.
Yeah, that's for La Familia. So that's good. But no, so we're gonna deal with some things tonight. The link, Avery said, "What's the link?" It's still in the it's in the where I sent it to you earlier. I'm gonna send it again right now, Avery. I'll send it directly to you, and then we'll get him on in here, and we get this conversation started. Man, how was your day? Tell me that first. Then, like I said, I'm filibustering right now.
No, you good, man. No, my day was great. I'm still kind of recuperating. I spent the entire last week, man, with 200 kids, and these were some Rays and some babies. But I had a wonderful time, man. It was Camp Hope, and I applaud all parents who do. And don't mind sending their kids to that camp to get some male mentoring and leadership. It was well worth it, man. It blessed me. It really, really blessed me.
Oh,
So I'm
good.
still recuperating from that because it was moving and shaking, moving and shaking.
That's a good thing. What to do, Avery?
What's going on? What's going on? What say Jarvis? Jarvis done said the Ray Rays and the Pookie Dance.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I just want to talk
Man.
to somebody on the bottom. How it feel, Avery? How you do? How you do? How you do?
Look,
Looking
look,
down
all the
on
time,
you,
man.
man.
I
Look at him
got
down
I got you. I got you.
I'm gonna choose violence early in this conversation. But the way Avery comes in, Avery said that in highlighting the fact that you call them babies and Ray Rays, right? See, the wrong crowd would say that Jarvis is being racist.
Right.
That's that's non-racial specific. You can get some white Ray Rays and babies too. You want some example? You want some examples? I'll give you some.
but hold on. If you come to me and tell me that Jarvis is being racist, I'll say that Jarvis can't be racist.
It wasn't racist. No, it wasn't racist thing. I just
Ray
to me.
Hold on. That was a sermonic pause. Hold on, because I'm saying black people can't be racist because see we've taken that term and used it so loosely. Right. And we act like prejudice and racist are the same word, and they're not. We can definitely be prejudiced.
Yes, sir.
But if you're gonna be racist, you're gonna have to have some political structure. You got to have some power. You got to have something. If you can't oppress another race, you can't be racist.
I disagree. Black folks can be very racist. Look. All right, take it. All right, take on a natural Saturday, right? Mm-hmm. You go to the park.
Yep.
You go to the park. You see a bunch of white folks. You say, "Oh my gosh, man, this park is crowded." You know what I'm saying? You see you go to another park. You see a whole bunch of black folks. You say, "Oh my goodness, man, this thing is packed." But if you go to another park and you see a bunch of Mexicans, first thing black folks say is this thing is infested. You know what I'm saying? And that's pure racist right there. No. That's pure racist right there. We got our own little racist.
It's a good joke.
We do it silently. And you can't tell me people say it all the time.
No, you can say it, but it's still prejudice. It ain't racist. The difference if you don't have I was in the middle of it. I'm gonna tell you. If you don't have the power to oppress, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna give you a good example. South Africa. Mm-hmm. How many black folk was there? How many white folks was there? But apartheid worked because it was a system. Because you have to be able to oppress another culture. We've never been able to oppress another culture.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So if a black mother says, if she can't use my comb, don't bring her home, is that racist or is that prejudice?
Prejudice.
That's racist all day long, man.
We still not oppressing. If you don't, racism has to involve the power to go along with it. Yeah, that's the difference. It's the systemic power that goes along with it. If you don't have the power to oppress nobody else, you can't do it. I cannot like you all day long. I can disagree with your culture, but I can't change. Hold on, what you say? It's a prejudice and a preference. That's what Melinda Doak said. I don't know. This really ain't what we're supposed to be talking about, but it just sounded fun.
You started.
I know Avery started.
I said all I said was Ray Rays and babies. That's all I did.
Now, if we are racist, I think we can be maybe racist against each other. But let's start. Earlier today, I put a post in the group, and it seemed real simple. And it's funny to me how the simplest post get the most plug and all that kind of stuff, right? But it was just I saw it on another friend of mine's page, and when she put it on her page, everybody jumped on it. Then she and I started having a conversation about it in her inbox, and it just made and it made sense to me why she made the post. I'm gonna show y'all in the audience. Don't let this be a dialogue tonight. Y'all talk back to us tonight, and if y'all not talking to us, talk to each other. Let's have a conversation. If y'all would like this post, because see that gets the algorithm going. When y'all start liking it and you start sharing it, then people start seeing it, and then we can have a real good conversation. I got Jarvis, I got Avery. The mic is open. Y'all are welcome to jump in. But let's get it started. Here it is. This is the image. I'm putting it on overlay. Y'all might not be able to see it unless y'all looking at the screen or something else. Avery and Jarvis. But here it is. When you see a husband and wife together, you speak to both. It's called respect. Real simple. When you see a husband and wife together, you speak to both. It's called respect. Now, I can remember a time Avery. In when I get married, 1998. We had just gotten married, and I remember this dude called the house. And when he called, he said, "Let me speak to," and he said my ex-wife's name. I said, "Huh?" He said, "Let me speak to such and such." I said, "Nigga, if you call my house, you better speak to me first." I said, "Otherwise, you won't speak to her." You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I ain't got to say nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes people have a tendency of overstepping their boundaries because they have a relationship with your significant other. And so in that instance, who's supposed, I mean, so have you ever had that happen, Jarvis?
I have. But
Okay.
you know what? To me, when I first read that, the first thing came to my mind. If a woman comes up and doesn't speak to my wife, to me, that's a lot less dangerous than a woman who comes up and is overly nice and speaks to my wife but has ill intentions.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, if you know what I mean by that, just
Unpack it.
because it's the disrespect isn't from the not speaking. To me, the disrespect comes from the lack of acknowledgement. So what will you tolerate? You
Okay.
know what I mean? If you come up to me and you just starting a conversation with me, and my wife is or my significant other and anybody else's situation is right there, I don't mind taking the place and, hey, this is so and so,
Mm-hmm.
making sure you acknowledge that. You know what I mean? Bring it to the forefront so it's clearly visible. If the person still is like, anyway, and tries to talk to me, then we got a problem. You know what I mean? Then we got a problem. So I'm address it from jump.
So let me ask that in the audience. Let me ask that before Avery jumps in. Let me ask the audience. So here it is again. If you're walking with your significant other, or you and your significant other together, because right now we in class reunion season, right? So we in this big class reunion season now. So everybody's going home for these class reunions, all these things. So now a lot of times people have a tendency of remembering who you were and don't know who you are.
Right.
Does that make sense? They
Yes,
they
sir.
remember who you were, and they know you was red in high school, but now somebody's wife. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you might have had a reputation in high school, but now you're somebody's husband.
The
So,
whore.
but
Old prostitute.
yeah, you loose with it. So
Loose
when
booty.
you see a husband and wife, and let's not even say husband and wife, when you see a couple together, you speak. It's just It's just only right. You speak to both. That's called respect. Agree or disagree, audience? Y'all let me know. Do y'all agree or disagree? And tell me why. Go ahead, Avery.
Agree. I would just think it would be common knowledge to do that. But I mean, of course, everybody doesn't have common sense. If you see two people together and you know they're together, I mean, it's just right to speak to both. But I'm like Jarvis too, though, because I have situations too where, if me and my wife are out and somebody comes up to me, I'm gonna say, hey, this is my wife, blah, 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 and and on and on. So, but it's just common courtesy to just stop and speak to both. And if you can't do that, then maybe at that moment, that probably gonna be our last conversation.
Yeah. So you're gonna end that. So you conversation automatically, huh?
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
you got to go home with who you you got to go home with your spouse or your significant other or whoever you mean, and that person that you seen one time
But
in 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to me, it don't matter because women got this third eye and this sixth sense, man, that somebody
Bruh.
can be totally nice to your spouse. You know what I mean? And you get home in the car, she'll say, so and so messing with you or trying to mess with you. So and so like you. They've got something in their head. So it really don't matter if the person speak or not. She's gonna be able to pick something up.
Right.
Men, we not that, we may not be that because a woman, she can introduce you to a dude and they have a whole co-worker, husband life relationship, and you cordial with her, man. You standing next to the barbecue grill, offering to do the beer and everything. I'm not speaking out of personal experience. If I did, I'd blow a whole house up. I'm just saying stuff like that. Stuff like that have happened to people in the past.
Please say that ain't true. Please say that ain't true.
That ain't true. I'm just saying what I would do.
No, I'm saying that ain't what's happening at the men. Are women that treacherous? Not. I ain't gonna use the word treacherous.
Oh, a woman will introduce you to her whole other husband. You know what I'm saying? And
Man,
invite him to the barbecue.
look, and you won't even know.
You won't even know it.
Bruh.
Women, is that true? Yeah,
Yeah,
please tell me.
it's true. It's
They're
true,
not
but
going to
they
admit
ain't
it.
gonna say it.
They ain't
Exactly.
going to admit it.
Exactly.
They ain't going to admit it.
I got to women. Y'all, is that true? Hold on. Do y'all know women like? Hold on, Robin Butler. I agree, it's respectful and courteous. I wouldn't care what another woman's intentions are. You better speak to both of us, cause she will get checked. Melinda ain't no joke, boy. Melinda says she go. How you gonna check her, Melinda? You gonna say who gonna? What if she say who gonna check me, boo? Whatever they be saying. But Coy said something. Cause Coy, Coy is always gonna have a
Girls are
different,
players too. See
but
there,
this
she
was
came
one.
back.
See,
Who said that? Who I missed that one. Who said that?
Melinda.
Oh, wow. But listen, Coy was supposed to be Coy wanted to be on tonight, but she said she had to go to bed. But this is what she said. She said, I don't speak to people I don't know. If you want me to greet your spouse as well after I speak to you, it's your responsibility to introduce to them. After that, I'll speak. So what do y'all say about that?
No.
man, come on,
No. She can
Coy.
try it if she wants
Come
to.
on,
You know what
Coy.
I mean? Yeah. that ain't gonna last long at all.
I mean, so I guess at that point, I see Coy and I say, hey, Coy, how you doing? This is my spouse. Or cause I don't know if she means she gonna walk right past me and say, oh, hey James, how you doing? Come hug me.
Yeah.
And I think she got more tact than that. I mean, do you think?
No, Avery, I'm just for a second, just
Go
let me
ahead,
know
man.
if I'm right or wrong. Okay.
Hey, I'm naive.
When
Y'all help me
anytime a man is standing next to his woman, if another woman that the man knows walks up, the moment that she walks up, he's pretty much on the defense.
Man, look,
He's got to
bruh.
prove
Yes, sir.
that okay,
Yes, sir.
this ain't what that, this is so and so from
Why
Bruh.
he have to be why he have to be the one to answer
Man,
that question? Why I can't just say,
because
wait,
that's the
James,
way it
wait,
is.
James. If
Because
I had,
why I can
her radar
participate
went
today?
up.
look, hey, James, if I had an organ, I'd be back in Jarvis Cell right now.
See?
Well, they say musicians have covered up bad preaching for a long time now.
See, there you go. There you go.
They cover
There
bad
you
preaching.
go.
Man, I try to cut it off, bro. My mind, it won't stop. Hey, Robin, Robin Butler. That's my she does speaking with John Maxwell. So she's like major leadership. I gotta get Robin on the show real soon. That's my homegirl. We met I was selling cars a long time ago. It's 14 people in here right now, and I got 5 likes. I need to try to get about at least 10 of those to be likes, and I probably need about 8 or 9 of those to be shares. If y'all would do that for me, then we can kind of get this keep this conversation going. Right now, we're talking about this particular subject right now. We're gonna pivot in a minute, but we're saying that when you see a husband and spouse to get both, when you see a husband and wife together, you don't know the husband, man, but you know the wife. Are you speaking to the wife, or are you gonna you gonna say, "What's up, dude?" Then speak to his wife. How you gonna handle that? And ladies, you don't know the husband. I mean, excuse me, you don't know the wife, but you know the husband. Are you speaking? How does that conversation look? That's what we're talking about right now. So Jarvis said that women will have a whole relationship, a whole situationship with a dude, and still introduce him to their husband like it ain't nothing. I need to know, ladies, is this true? What Jarvis is saying? Are you knew that y'all were kicked it in high school? Y'all might even hung out and smack, whatever y'all young folk use, terms y'all use. Y'all did that in your young adult years. But since then, y'all y'all necked. What they say, neck. Y'all used to neck. But y'all have gone out as far, and now y'all have gone off, gotten married, been married 20, 25 years, but you run up on them at the 30-year class reunion, and if he comes up and speaks, how you handling that? How you handling it? Because Jarvis said y'all are introduced him basically like it ain't nobody. Jarvis, is that what you said?
I've seen it all the time. But men do it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's one-sided. Men do the same thing, but the thing is, men don't usually fail at it because women have that sixth sense. Like I told you about, in that third eye, they see right through it. They be like, nope, you and so and so messing around. Where a dude will be like, okay, yeah, he seemed like a pretty cool dude. Come have a beer or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, because I'm probably gonna be shook. I ain't gonna be. I know if I was. And if I know I had something with somebody, I got a good memory first of all, so I have not forgotten whatever transpired back then or whatever. So my mind is gonna automatically pretty much probably go there. And so I'm gonna be sitting there like, oh my God, can you please leave?
Yeah.
Y'all already spoke. Can you get on? I mean, hey, good at holler at you. Bye.
Yeah.
All that.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I know from when it comes to relationships and things like that, what women don't like are pop-ups, and they don't like strangers, and they don't like new characters being introduced to the story. You know what I mean? So
And they don't like made to look stupid.
they don't like made to look stupid. So some advice some old dude gave me one time when I first got married, he said, if you go through your phone, if there's anybody in your phone right now that you know, if you was to call or send a text that you could sleep with, you need to delete that person.
Ooh.
And so, because what they are is they become an available option. Women have those exact same options available. So, pretty much when you enter a serious relationship, your person that you're with, your significant other, expects to understand every call they could possibly ring that's saved on your phone. So when she see Pizza Hut and Pizza Hut say, "What you doing tonight?" her radar go up. You know what I'm saying? So all these random numbers that people put in their phone, that's what's sending people radars through the roof. So each time you go into a situation, just like Avery said, women don't like to be made a fool of.
Right.
If somebody walk up, case in point, you know what I mean? You going because if you're like James, you're a nice looking dude. You know what I'm saying? Avery, you all right. You know what I'm saying? Get your head fixed. Get your head made. You know what I'm saying? Well, look, James, if you dating somebody and if you go to an event and you go to a party, you're a nice looking dude. And if there's people from your past there, say it's a reunion, you expect to see somebody that you was with in your past.
Yeah.
It's almost expected.
Yeah.
And that expectation should come with a full, you know what I'm saying, explanation. And that's all it is. I threw my 50th birthday party in Fordyce, Arkansas. It ain't but that big. You know what I'm saying? Fordyce is so small, you don't need to have invitations. There was bound to be people there from my past. But anybody who walked into that door of my birthday party, whether invited or not, had to know that I was married. You know what I'm saying? And if I didn't introduce them, they already knew the situation. There should be no problems.
Right. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So yeah, cool. Walk up, but you know, you're not just gonna speak to me. You're not just gonna show me love. You're not just gonna throw your hands around me because that looks suspect. And no woman wants to be made a fool of.
Right.
No.
And a lot of times, you know what? A lot of times, Jarvis and James, sometimes it's the energy that we what's the word? It's the energy that we give off to when that said person comes around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You was talking about the sixth sense and all that stuff, but sometimes it's the energy that we give off is more than just that. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? So now you have to make sure that you cover your bases. And I'm gonna say this too, especially if you've had one time where you messed up.
Yeah.
You better cover. You better cover.
You said Avery now, and I want and since let's go there since you opened that word up because that's a good point. That's a good word to use, and I don't think that we understand what that word really means. So I want to unpack that, Avery. I know you have, and I know you are, preachers, and so I saw you using words like catechism and hermeneutics.
I fully understand what he's saying. I can help.
No. I understand. We coming to you. No, we coming to you too. I know we coming to you. Hold on, right? Nobody says you was slow, bro. I know you been we good, bro. But Avery, you said that you got to cover them, and that's something that I think is missing in marriages and in relationships, right? Because we're so that the word that stands out, y'all, and I see y'all talk back to me, but the word that stands out, the first letter in the word individual is what? I. And so there's so many I's in marriages, and I don't think it's enough we's and us's in marriages nowadays, right? Because everybody, because America pushes this whole capitalism piece, right? Get all you can all you get, protect your interests, do all these types of things, get your separate bank account, 50-50, all this stuff that these people push these days that promotes individualism, right? And marriage is not about individualism. Marriage, at a certain point, the two become one. And so when the two become one, there has to be covering. And if we understand what covering means, Jarvis and Avery, then we won't have our wife out here looking bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we won't have our spouse out here looking bad, you know, because we understand. I was talking to this young lady today, and she said, if he's mine, I'm going to always make sure he's covered. She said, and I'm going to be honest, if I know somebody else likes me, I'm probably going to do something in front of them and with him to let them know he's my man. I'm going to do a PDA, a public display of affection, just to let them know that he got me. That he's mine and I'm his. I said, oh man, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm talking about when you talk about covering somebody. Talk about what that a little bit more for me, Avery. What it, and then Avery, and then Jarvis, you go next. But what does it mean to cover your spouse?
What it means, it first of all, you know what, you know the triggers.
That's good.
You know their emotional vulnerabilities. You know what I'm saying? So you know all of that, and you do your part to make sure that those areas are not exposed to anyone else.
That's good stuff.
You know what I'm saying? You make sure that those you make sure that those are not exposed to anyone else. And even if you have done something in the past where you have exposed, then you are on guard and you are very much aware.
That's good, Avery.
Of your actions, your speech, your dialogue, and your surroundings, that you will take them from a place of danger.
Yes, sir.
And make sure that they're safe. It's that simple. That's simple.
Go ahead. You want to add something to that, Jarvis?
No, man. He said that perfectly. I was talking about something else. I can't add nothing to that.
Because
a woman wants to feel safe. She wants to feel protected.
Absolutely.
And she wants to feel like she's in a place where she won't be embarrassed.
Ladies, let us know. Are we saying it right? I really wanted a female representation on this panel tonight, so we can get your thoughts as well. And we will be adding ladies to the panel here real soon. But are we getting it right? Because that was the one thing that I heard is that women want to feel secure. They want to feel secure. They really want to feel secure. So that's our job. And even with that individual coming up, and even if they don't have bad intentions, you know, they might not have, when they come up and speak, you know, and say, hey girl, or hey boy, girl, I miss you, or come up and try to hug you. They might not have really had bad intentions, but it's not always what the intentions are, because good intentions can have a bad impact. Right. Does that make sense?
Right.
I mean, good intentions. I could have had very good intentions, but I missed the mark. If a pitcher's on the mound, he never plans to throw a wild pitch in a baseball game. His goal is to throw it to the mitt and throw it in the strike zone, or throw it to the mitt, because sometimes he sets up outside the strike zone trying to induce a swing and miss. I get that, but everything is intentional, right? But every now and then he might grip the ball wrong. Or he might hold on to it too long, and the ball might come out wrong, and the ball might fly to the backstop. And then next you know, somebody else is taking a base, you know, because the impact was something different than it was intended. And a person coming up, I mean, speaking, not meaning any harm, but next thing you know, when you ride, Jarvis, you ride down the street, and all of a sudden you feel somebody side-eyeing you, looking you upside your head, you know what I'm saying? But like, I can't wait till your butt get home, because you know dang well that heifer disrespected me a few minutes ago.
Right.
And you know, and you didn't check it. Now, in that moment, at that moment, the smartest thing to do is say, "What? Hold on, let me introduce you to my wife, or let me introduce you to my significant other," you know, and kill that right in that moment, and then that way that'll kill any bad intentions. Do y'all agree with that?
Right. I agree.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw something else in there. To me, one of the biggest misconceptions that I can't stand is when a woman in a relationship says, I got rid of all of my male friends for you. The moment that I started this relationship, I dropped all my male friends. And to me, that would be the same as a dude saying, you know what I mean? I cut off all the female friendships that I had, period, just because we were in a relationship. And to me, that's not realistic, because men and women still have to coexist in this world. Now, what we was talking about when it comes to the approach, when me and my wife first got together, I could tell. See, like, we were the opposites. The majority of my friends were females because I get along better. communicating with females. I'm not all about ass, titties, and I'm sorry, I'm supposed to cut booty, titties, and all that. You know what I mean? And we could have just good conversations. And the majority of her friends were males. You know what I mean? But at the same time, there is this little thing in the back of your head that says, okay, that might be your friend, but that's somebody who might have tested the water in the past.
Yeah.
So I just have to remain cognizant of that. And so I think when I mentioned that women don't like pop-ups and women don't like these new people that come into the picture or whatever, that raises red flags for them. But at the same time, men know, and men have in their mind, who's a homegirl. All dudes have one, and she's really vital to the clique. If you ever hung around a clique of dudes, they had one homegirl that just made the cohesion better. And she actually she was more so like a motherly figure for them, or a big sister figure. So I don't think it's healthy to exclude those people just because of their gender. Just like, with my wife, she has male friends in her, that really looked out for her. Times when she needed that big brother or whatever, nobody was there or whatever, and before me. And even times when she just say, hey, so and so just getting married or whatever, so and so got this big accomplishment, graduating from school, this and that. That's family. You know what I mean? So I try to make sure that I don't exclude those people. So if someone comes up to me and her while we're standing next to each other, I know where to categorize them. And just like Avery said, your body language is going to tell it all.
Right.
Because if it's your homegirl, you're going to be like, what it do? You know what I'm saying? But if it's a girl who, you're not cautious with, you like, yeah, this is this is so right here. You know what I mean? And her radar just goes through the roof. It goes through the roof.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I ain't good at lying either, boy. I'm not. So
No,
let me ask y'all, all of y'all in the audience. Let me ask this question since you brought that up. Should you cut off friends? I already know your answer, Jarvis. You just told me. But should you cut off friends of the opposite sex once you get married? Should you cut off friends of the opposite sex once you get married? And if you know that y'all have history, especially, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know, that y'all have smashed back in the past or whatever. It might have been 30 years ago, because we have that age where something can be 30 years ago now. But all right, should you cut off those friends, Melinda? Those in the audience?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Should you cut off those friends? Because I asked y'all a question a week. I mean, I asked y'all a question a couple of weeks ago, and y'all, the married people kind of looked at me like I was crazy. I not looked at me because we wasn't looking at each other, but I asked the question: should single people and married people hang out together? And everybody was like, yeah, why not? I'm not cutting off my single friends. And then I said, well, ask your single friends the same question. You know what I'm saying? Because the married people would certainly have a certain perspective of that friendship, but the single people might have a totally different perspective of said friendship. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
I think people
but I can't explain
rich
it
people, better. People who want to be rich should hang around rich people.
Yeah, that's
so
totally
people who want to be married should hang around. It ain't nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't normally hang around single people. You ain't gonna catch me going. If I go to a titty bar somewhere, I'm going with married folks. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So that's so hold on. So before you said listen to my rationale, I might have a rationale first, Mr.
Okay.
Jarvis. Yeah.
I want to hear it.
Yeah, because I'm not competing with a single dude. I mean, with a married dude. And
what's the competition? What competition? What do you mean?
The ones that might not be as faithful to your wife as you are. That's my point. And I don't want to be guilty of holding that information. I've had married friends in the past. Don't call me Steve Harvey or whatever. I had one in particular ask me if he could pay half my rent to get a key to my apartment so he can have somewhere to tip to. I'm not being that friend. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I say that, because sometimes a married dude that's not faithful, he'll want to use his single friend as a scapegoat. I ain't riding with you like that. You know what I'm saying? Because especially if I know your wife,
you'll get included in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you'll get included in the downfall.
That's the pressure part for the single dude in the relationship that the married guy might not see. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? Because your wife looking him upside the head because he is that single friend, wondering, does he have a single life? Because I get credit for a lot of girls I don't hang out with.
Yeah,
I mean,
but to
you know
me,
what I'm saying? Because people
that
assume that I
yeah,
run with a
that
lot of folks.
to me that's an opportunity for accountability because
Yeah.
when I was a mess in my first marriage, and I used to go out all the time, and what I used to do was I used to leave my wife at home, and I
Hmm.
had one friend, he said, Jarvis, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't leave your wife at home like that while you out having fun. Either she needs to be with you or you need to be at home.
Was he married or single?
He was single.
Okay.
But
And
that
that's
was
what
a
I and
moment
that's
that
and
was a
that's what I
moment of
do.
accountability.
Accountability,
That
right?
was a moment of
And that's
accountability.
what I do. I mean, and
Right.
that's what I do. And I ain't gonna do because I'm leaving you. I ain't, and that's one thing about my daddy raised me. When my daddy bought my first car, he purposely got me a car with 2 doors. And he told me the reason why he did it because he ain't want nobody in the back seat. So I don't really run with you. And Jarvis, you know that right now. I don't just hang out. Even if I go anywhere, most times I'm going by myself. I mean, that's just how I roll. And I always have. I don't even have a lot of single friends. Most of the friends I have are female friends. I mean, like you said, I mean, because they're easy. I mean, a lot of them, I guess I'm easier to talk to. I've had a bunch of females just say I'm easier to talk to. And most of those are, well, all those are, well, most of those platonic friendships. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just, we're just cool. And I
Yeah.
like those types of friendships. I don't hang with a lot of single dudes
Mm-mm.
either, but I
Right.
definitely don't hang around with a lot. I have now don't give it. Do I hang with married guys? Yes. I got Avery and I went to lunch last time. I mean, a couple times ago when I came home. I got friends, John and Gerald might take me to the baseball game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I do things like, but I'm saying, but if I'm going out, which I don't really go out, but I'm not going out with a married guy. I'm just not. It's just not. I'm probably gonna go out with another single dude, or I'm gonna go by myself. That's just how I kind of roll. Cause I don't want to put you in no bad position, and I'm sure not gonna put me in no bad position. And I like me, so
Right.
I'm like me, and I like you, and if I know you and I know your wife, I like her too. So we're gonna continue to be cool, and we're gonna keep this conversation. Man, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna keep it up. We're gonna keep it a buck. We're gonna keep it a buck. We're gonna keep it a buck. If you need a friend to help you do that,
Right.
I'm not that friend. Get you somebody else to help you do that. And I'm okay with that. I
Right.
have no qualms about it. I don't mean I could do bad by myself. I'm my very best friend. We've been getting along good for a long time, so
Yeah.
I can
But I
rock.
mean, also, the fact that you may not want to see that. You know what I mean? By you going through divorce, you may want to just find your own peace. I mean, you may not want to hang around that because that old PDA lovey-dovey thing, it looks like this marriage is couple or whatever. But I'm perfect. It took a while. When I went through my divorce, I didn't want to be around by no married folks. I didn't want a part of it. I didn't want to
I
see
don't
it.
mind being around married couples, but I don't want to be around well, I mean, yeah, it'd be I mean, for the first couple of years, I didn't want to be around anybody, and everybody kept trying to force me out. One kept wanting me to. They felt like I needed to have company or I needed to be
Mhm.
around somebody. They didn't want me to be alone. But that was not good. You know what I'm saying? Because Avery, we had this conversation last week. Metaphorically and spiritually, I still had open wounds,
Right.
and open
Right.
wounds don't need to be exposed. Right? When you have sores, the challenge or the hope is that a sore becomes a scar. But in between the sore and the scar is a scab. And until you get to the scar portion, really you need to keep that thing covered as much as possible. At first when it's open wound, you want to cover it up. As a scab, you uncover it, let it get a little bit more exposure, but you don't pick it. Eventually it
Mhm.
becomes a scar and has no more pain left. I'm at that point now. I don't have any more pain, but it took me a while to get there. And I think in the beginning, I was bleeding on people that didn't do anything to me because I was hurting, and to keep me from hurting further, I think I would get you off me as quick as possible. I might strike first. You understand what I'm saying? And I
Right.
probably
Mhm.
owe some people
Right.
apologies because of how I acted. But I really wish they would have just left me alone. I wish they'd let me stay in the house and mind my business until, I
Well, you were
felt like
ready. Right.
yeah, I felt like I was ready, man. But I thank God for some, ravens. You're familiar with the story by the brook of Kerith when God
Hmm.
sent ravens and with biscuits and sirloin tips every day in the midst of a drought. So I
Mhm.
was in my drought, don't get me wrong, and God sent a few ravens. My pastor was one of the best ravens. He brought me so many meat and biscuits and helped me get through that little I'm using metaphors, y'all. He didn't take me to
Right.
Houston's or nothing like that, but it helped me during that season. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was very cautious about who I hung around. So no, I didn't want to hang around married people. I didn't want to hang around single people. I was ready to sit here at this house and let silence be noise. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
now I'm good. Now I can hang around anybody. Jarvis, I sit in the house now and just get in the car and just go drive. I went shopping the other day. I ain't did that in I don't know how long. You know what I'm saying? I got it, man. I was sitting there, let me go buy me a suit. You know, but it's like I feel my strength coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, cool.
I feel my strength coming back. So no, I mean, I'm past a lot of that stuff. Then none of y'all asked that question. Should you cut off friends of the opposite sex when you get married?
We scared all the women off. They all gone. They all gone.
I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good, and it's the in this environment, it's the correct politically correct thing to say as far as marriage. But in my opinion, you've got people that you've been connected with all your life, and like you say, you cool, you got history, there's no funny business or nothing like that, and just because you get married, you're gonna cut them off just because you're married.
Right.
That to me, that's just me. It says something about the insecurity of your spouse more than it does.
But the dilemma comes, Avery, when you have a spouse that demands it.
Yeah. What do you do?
And that's confusing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't grew up with this person. Y'all been brothers and sisters since before y'all could even drive or walk or, you know what I'm saying, or jog and play. Now you with this woman that's, I ain't gonna say the word insecure, but with a woman who doesn't believe. Well, no, I won't even say a woman because there's men out there that says that honestly believe that no woman can be friends with a man without them sleeping together.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and so, but you got this dilemma now. You and this person have been through hell and hot water together, but you with a spouse that says, nope, cut it off.
Right.
You know, so in those situations, what do you do?
I wish the audience would help us answer that question. What do you mean? Should you be able to put a stipulation like that on your spouse to tell them that? Go ahead.
No, I'm saying what end up happens. They end up sneaking, having a behind closed doors conversation with the person.
Right.
That's all that's gonna happen.
And it's innocent. And it's innocent.
It's totally innocent.
Hopefully.
Yeah, you sneaking talking to a friend. No, it is.
Yeah,
sneaking talking to a friend. It's not nobody that you would ever feel comfortable crossing the line with.
Right.
But you confided with this person. This person helped you through so many situations. Then they your line. You know what I mean? They your little ear tug away with the advice.
Right. Man, I remember. I remember 1990. I know I'm probably the youngest one on this panel, but I remember 1990 when I graduated from high school. After graduation, I remember thinking, there's some people I'll never see again. You know, I thought once we walked across that stage, got those diplomas or whatever we did, right? People we had been going to school with for the last 4 years. Some of we have been going to school with for the last 10 or 12 years, all those types of things, right? We never see these people again. So it makes you wonder, to me, how solid those friendships were. Because true enough, we hung around them people for 4, 5, 6 years. We went through high school, all those things. But now that we've gotten married, Avery, you've been married for 31 years. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's a long time. That cancels out some of those, those friendships. Not cancels them out, but you understand them. They supersede it to an extent, should I say? Right. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So your wife almost has the right, in my opinion, to make that request. You understand what I'm saying? Jarvis, you were joking. I don't know if you were joking or not, but you said nobody better not, when you were in the group earlier today, you said nobody better not speak to my wife or something along those lines. Were you joking?
No, I to go to sleep at night, I watched Little House on the Prairie. And that's how Charles Ingalls was with his wife. You know what I'm saying? She ain't say nothing until so, I don't think in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I wish
James, that's gonna be the theme music going off, man. Go on, cue it up. Cue it up, man.
She ain't say a word, man. This is Charles Ingalls' wife didn't say a peep while somebody else was
dead, man. Wow. But I'm asking, should we be able to tell our spouse if that's bothering us? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for instance, somebody's being inappropriate on Facebook, and your wife says, I think you need to unfriend such and
absolutely. Such. Oh, it happens all the time. Yeah, I've done it. Okay. You know what I mean? I mean, they say, hey, happy wife, happy life, happy spouse, happy house, man. You gotta. A lot of times, it may not be even a physical, literal thing. Are you willing to do this for me?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or is this person more important than me? Okay. You know what I'm saying? So from there, there's times that I've had to unfriend people and things like that, because I'll be honest with you, it was inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? If it was inappropriate, nip it in the bud. But if it's purely platonic and there's no reason, that's a conversation that we need to have.
Right.
And after that conversation, she still wants you to. You're gonna do what she's. But in the end, she go happy wife, happy life. Point blank.
Well, I try to do something that I would like to receive as well. You know what I'm saying? Say a dude is being disrespectful towards me, and he's on her page. I would kind of want the same thing.
Absolutely.
How important is this dude? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If she's like, but now that's my so and so, that's my so and so, whatever. I'm like, I don't care who he is. You gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
So that brings us to remember a couple weeks ago with Keke Palmer and it was her boyfriend. It wasn't her spouse, right? But the thought was that she was being inappropriate at the Usher concert. Now I have my own thoughts on whether or not I believe she was being inappropriate or not. But hold on one second. All right.
Yeah.
Ann Murray, Melinda Dokes, all y'all ladies on here right now. It's time for y'all to chime in.
Yeah. That was one of the ones where me and my wife had to agree to disagree.
That was not her husband, but it's somebody she's in a relationship with. Yeah. So what was your wife saying?
She was basically, she was saying that okay, Keke Palmer just had a baby. Number one. Number two, she's still climbing from Aquila and the Bee with everybody seeing her as a child. She's got her body back and she's proud and she wants to be. And number three, that was her boyfriend and not her husband. So he didn't have the authority to dictate what she can wear.
So her money. She's cool with it. She can wear it. She said she's cool with it.
Right. But with me, my only problem is if I'm with you and we are exclusive, if everybody can see it, I don't need it. And if everybody can have it, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to be with someone who has to dress that way to prove something to somebody else or whatever. And you grown. You know what I'm saying? If we are together and you want to wear that, and you can call it as sexy as you want, let me be the one to showcase my trophy. Like, hey, look how fine my wife is. Ooh, you know what I'm saying? But the capture looks, you know what I'm saying, from the audience, and capture looks from Usher, like, whew, and it's nothing but ass cheeks right there everywhere. You know what I'm saying? No, man, that's crushing for a dude. And it's hard to get over. You know what I'm saying? Because what's supposed to be yours is no longer yours. It's the world's, especially when social media gets it. So we just had to come to terms and agree to disagree.
What you think, Avery?
Well, I'm looking at it from a 32-year lens.
Yeah.
I'm also looking at it from a perspective of both of them are entertainers.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from a point that if this is just me, if my wife and I were at that concert and that would have happened, this is just me, I would have been like, okay, she finally gets her chance to hear and see her favorite singer. That's Usher. When she leaves, she's coming home with me. To me, it's just me, and I'm different. It didn't bother me.
Well, my problem was what she was wearing. That's my problem.
Right.
That was my only problem. Like if I was wearing, you know what I'm saying, Levi jeans or Wrangler jeans and nut cutters or whatever, and Janet Jackson crawled all over me or whatever, that's different. You know what I'm saying? That's different. You know what I'm saying? You know, but but you were saying that what she had, Kiki had on, you and your wife would have went there to the concert together wearing that.
Oh no.
But that to me, that's not. I don't have a problem
now
with
I
being
got
on stage at the concert.
Right.
I don't have no problem with that at all.
Right.
I just had a problem with the total. There was nothing to hide.
Well,
Everything.
you know what, man? You know what, man? I'm gonna tell you something. I would have had more. See, at first I thought it was Kiki Wyatt.
What?
You stupid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's when I had a problem with it. When I found out it was Keke Palmer, I really didn't have much of a problem with it. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't have a problem with it. Because I think a lot of times we project from our platform instead of looking at it from their premise. That's a 29, 30-year-old child or a young lady. And so that's what 29, 30-year-olds wear. And what she was wearing compared to what they was wearing at the BET Awards, she had a whole bunch of clothes on. All she had basically was a swimsuit with a wrap on over it, you know, some covering. The same thing you might say, swimming pool. So from my standpoint, if I see a 29-year-old being a young lady having friends, I don't have as much of a problem with it. Now, if it's a 50-year-old, and I get it if she got a nice body, all that kind of stuff, you know, but and then got mama and kids and all those kind of things. And I think that's who a lot of times is projecting and having issues with her are those that in our demographic. Of course, I wouldn't, as a 51-year-old man, I ain't trying to go to a concert with a 40-year-old woman, a 45-year-old woman, or nobody that's showing her body off like that. But I'm a 51-year-old man.
Yeah, and that would be cool with me too. But the thing is there are events like that where that's cool and that's appropriate or whatever, but nobody else is dressed like that. If you see all the other women that are on stage and that are wooing and high, and
that was 10 people on stage. Well, it was probably 10,000.
I didn't see. Well, what I'm saying is, I didn't see anybody else on stage, and that, you know, you can't dictate the audience or whatever. I didn't see anybody with and even a bathing suit is cool. If you're at a swimming pool, that's fine. That's all right. You know what I'm saying?
It look good.
Call me racist and call me dumb. But no, if you with
black
me,
people can't be racist.
Who?
That's a
yeah, it is. It is. That's racist. That's very prejudiced. We go right back to the beginning of the show. Right back to the beginning of the show.
We've been looking at this one more time. Let me see if I say, hold on. Let's see. Okay.
So if it's cool with you, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm cool.
If mine goes, if mine went to Vegas and she did the residency and went to Usher and concert, and I'm not there, you know what I'm saying? Out of sight, out of mind, whatever. This hit all the social media. You know what I'm saying? And he may have, it hit hard. So it's one of the things where me and my wife had to agree to disagree. I wouldn't want her up on stage, center stage like that with all butt cheeks out. I just wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm old school. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Call me AME. African Methodist and Episcopal, all three of them.
He's the African Methodist and Episcopal.
All three of them.
Wow. Like I said, hey, I'm like I said, I'm holding the line. As long as it wasn't Keke Wyatt, like I said, I threw up, But
no, that's not.
But Keke Palmer, like I said, at her age, and she did that thing. I just watched it again. When she turned around, I did see it, and wasn't many people on stage with the women of why, because most of the dudes, like I looked at dudes with shorts and all that other stuff on.
But imagine that's your significant other, even though she coming home to you, Avery. It's just all up there for display. You saying you be cool because it's her idol, somebody I ain't doing it. If she do, I'm going up.
Cool with it. I ride with it. I ain't gonna lie. At 49, 39, 49, no. But at 29, 30, I'm cool with it. If I'm in that same age, group, because that probably wasn't the first time she wore that outfit, or if it was, she's wore something like that at other places. And like I said, I've seen some of the stuff that you see some of the stuff they wear in Walmart.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, they got people with their chest, their stomachs out. Yeah,
this is in front of probably millions of people.
I get it. I get it. But that's over there. I mean, but I'm right here is what I'm saying. Like that man I saw yesterday at Piccadilly with his neck that looked like he had Rice Krispies on the back of it. And I had lost my appetite looking at that man's neck. Man, now that was, he should have had a mask on his neck. You know what I'm saying?
That's a condition.
Yeah,
that's racist.
She needed some conditioner. Look, he needed some conditioner on that neck. I mean, I'm glad I wasn't eating right then. I had to take my food home and develop an appetite a couple of hours later because I'm trying to tell you, man, that joke. I mean, they talking about mask on your face. He needed a hood on his neck. Because I was about to throw up. I'm trying to tell you. No, man, but I can see it from your side too, Jarvis. Like I said, I mean it. Now, if I looked on TV and I saw my daughter doing that, I'd probably feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. And I have seen my daughter. My daughters are getting older. My daughter went to Puerto Rico. I don't follow my kids on social media because I don't want to see.
I mean, that's a total different thing. What I'm saying is, any woman I'm with, that's mine. And I'm not being greedy or selfish.
You feel the same way about your daughter, though?
Well, with my daughter, once they get old enough, they have to make their own decisions and have to be accountable for it. You know what I mean? I can't, of course, I'll be like, hey, you didn't do this at home or whatever, this and that. But if she's at that age, like my daughter's 25 years old, my oldest daughter is 25. If she go to a concert, I'm not gonna say, hey, take that off or whatever. You have to be, if you're single and you want to do that, whatever, that's a whole different relationship. What I'm saying when it comes to my wife, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going to wear that on Saturday and then Sunday we're going to be at church. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that you should live life by being judged or people being judgmental, but think of your home. Think if that's not something that I want you to wear. Like we went to that old school hip hop R&B concert, and some of my wife's stuff was, low cut, see-through, whatever, you know what I mean, here. But we were together and we was rocking old school together. You know what I'm saying? That's different.
Did you have a problem with Chance the Rapper when he did this thing at Carnival?
What did he do?
Remember when he was dancing with the other woman, all up on her, gyrating on the back of the woman and all that kind of stuff, and it wasn't his wife when he was at Carnival, and that hit the headlines. That was all. I mean, that was all in the blogs and all over the world.
Oh, that's different. That's what you call busted. He got busted. That's all that is.
But they say that's normal behavior for Carnival, though. They say that they dance like that. Yeah, they say you don't necessarily have to, and that don't necessarily mean you have to have sex now. And that's my point.
But you know what Carnival? He did the Carnival, the original Carnival, like in Colombia or Brazil or Rio de Janeiro.
It was in one of those islands. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. If I travel 3,000 miles for somebody, I'm dancing. You know what I'm saying? I'm dancing.
But what I'm saying is she's a celebrity. So I know millions of people saw it at the Usher concert. But if she goes to South Beach and a right person take a picture of it, millions of people gonna see it.
So let me ask you this though.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Was Chance the Rapper dressed appropriately?
He had on shorts and a t-shirt.
Well, then he wasn't half naked, so I rest my case. That's fine.
He had a swimsuit. He had a swimsuit on.
Was he showing his butt cheeks? Was Chance the Rapper showing his butt cheeks? That's all I'm talking about right there.
But he was slapping him.
He was so slapping.
He was slapping him.
Let me ask something. So let me ask something. So if you got a house, right, and your house has see-through curtains, they got see-through curtains. Aren't the curtains still there?
They sure are.
Okay, so the girl had see-through curtains because she had a cover on.
You talking about Kiki?
Yes, she had see-through curtains.
It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's it is. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's illusion. Yeah. See, I don't know anything about the woman that was in Carnival. I don't know anything about her. Only people think in UNS know is they know about Chance the Rapper, and Chance the Rapper was dressed appropriate. So I condemn that. I mean, I condone that young man's behavior. You know what I'm saying? Because he was there and he was having a good time, but he was dressed appropriately. Just like a and you understand what I'm saying, Anne Murray? Anne Murray understands what I'm saying. Chance the Rapper, he was dressed right. You know what I'm saying? His mama raised him the way he's supposed to be.
You do see
hey, Jay.
Hold on, I got one. Watch this. Let me drop a bomb on him right quick with that craziness right there. What you say? What you gonna say, Avery? I'm
I
sorry.
was just going to say Jarvis being racist.
That wasn't prejudice. That was racist.
Him being racist. I'm gonna go ahead and do one more. Hold on. I'm gonna blow him up. No, bro. No. Hey, Chance probably was telling his business by the time he got through there. He had to get a towel to carry it so he could walk off more around there. But dude, he was up on it, Jack. He was up on it and almost in it. So I don't know about that one, Jarvis. I don't know about that one. But I don't know. But then that begs the question: as a spouse, can you tell your spouse what to do?
Morally, can you tell any person what to do? To me, there's lines of things that you should do. You know what I mean? I'm not one of them type of spouses that sets boundaries. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is what I expect. This is what I need. This is the way you're supposed to dress. This is the way you're supposed to act. This is what you're supposed to cook. I expect my bath to be run, this and that.
Right.
You know what I mean? When two people get married, especially when two people get married, you learn to compliment each other within reason. And that's where that comes from. And so if I'm in a relationship with someone, I would say I would expect them not to advertise something that belongs in my home freely. You know what I mean? Just like they would expect me not to go somewhere and cut the fool and, you know what I'm saying, do the stuff I used to do. Because you have to remember, I used to be an erotic spoken word artist. That was the way that I would get to the audience. You know what I mean? But when she became Mrs. Talley, I had to cut that out. All of pants down to my knees and pulling beads out of everything, and you know what I'm saying, calling women to the stage and making them orgasm on the microphone. I had to cut all that out because I had to think. You know what I'm saying? It's not just me anymore. Now it's three people. You know what I'm saying? It's me, her, and God. So I had to respect that whole Trinity itself, and so I couldn't invite anything else in.
Right, and I was gonna say that when you said that respect, that was a thing I was thinking about. Once you learn and know your spouse, there's a mutual respect that both of you have that you don't even have to ask them to do anything or not to do anything.
Exactly, and you know what, and that's a good place to segue on this because it makes our conversation come back full circle to what we talked about 20, 30 minutes ago. We talked about covering your spouse. One thing about it is, Avery, like you told us on several occasions, you've been married for 31 years. You told us 18 years later you started to figure it out. You said you're in your 18th year, Jarvis, and what you do in marriage is as you start to, as you grow, you do learn triggers. Man, I met a young man last week. He was about 30 and he had been married for a year. And I was listening to him talk. He said, man, certain things about my spouse, she'll make me mad. He said, she'll have me upset. He said, but sometimes I don't say nothing. He said, because I know it's going to start an argument. He said, so I'll sit on it for 3 or 4 days. He said, and if it's not bothering me in 2 or 3 days, I'm not worried about it. He said, but if it bothers me in 4 or 5 days, then I'm going to talk to her about it. You know what I'm saying? And so, but he said he's learning the triggers of his wife. He's learning the things she likes. He's learning the things she dislikes. He's learning the things that make her click. Because if you know, Avery, that your wife, certain things trigger her, are you gonna put a gun in that bullet?
Man, no sir.
Why would you do that? And I think sometimes in marriage, and I'm guilty of it. I was guilty of it. That's why probably why I'm by myself now. Knowing certain things bother your spouse, or knowing that certain things are going to jeopardize your marriage, and you're going to have them out here looking stupid, as they call it, or looking bad, as they call it, and you do it anyway, that's not covering your spouse.
Right.
And I think if I'm not learning anything from you, Jarvis, tonight, and from you, Avery, from our conversations, is that the longer you stay married, you establish those boundaries, and you learn you learn each other's expectations. That's a good word. And you ride with those expectations, and anything outside of those expectations is really out of bounds. And at that point, it's time for a conversation. And prayerfully, your relationship is of the such that when things do get out of bounds, y'all can have a conversation. and come back. What you think about that, Jarvis?
I mean, no, in any sport, in any game, it's okay to go out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to cross the foul line. It's okay. It's okay to do those things, but as long as you get the game, get the ball back, get the game back on. You know what I'm saying, and proceed on. You know what I'm saying. So you also have to enter a relationship knowing that you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna piss the person off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way you truly learn those triggers. And I go back to what my uncle said, who's been married longer than anybody I know on this whole blue ball. You know what I'm saying? And because he's been married since I was a baby, before I was born. And he told me before I got married, he said, "Man, sometimes my wife make me so mad I could literally bite her head off. But guess what? And I love that woman. And ain't nobody in this world gonna love that woman more than I can love her. So when we have a problem, we bring it home. Close the door. So if we have to work it out, if we have to go sit in the car, we have to talk it out, whatever we have to do. We know each other's triggers. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying you manipulate somebody's triggers. You know, if your wife have a weight problem, whatever, she make you mad, you can't say, shut your fat ass up. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause things like that. That causes her to go other places. You know what I'm saying? Causes her to mentally take other things in other ways.
What if she too skinny? What if she too skinny?
Huh? Shut your little ass.
Okay, I want let's be diverse. You know what I'm saying? Let's not leave.
No, listen.
I'm done, Jarvis.
And I'm not trying to be racist, man, but skinny women are mean. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Skinny women hit hard. You know what I'm saying?
They would elbow the mess out you.
Skinny women hit. A skinny woman, a little vein come down her forehead. You might gonna call the police.
It's
about to go down.
It's about to be on and popping.
Bro, Jarvis is officially the Stu Nation nut. I promise you. He is the Stu Nation
You rather have a big woman mad at you than a skinny one.
And
look, they ain't hungry or nothing. You can't coerce them. You got, let me start. All they want to do is fight.
Hey, the views expressed on this show
right
are individual and unique. Whatever Jarvis says, he is responsible for his comments.
This skinny woman fight you in church.
For my comments. And I ain't got but 3 people on here tonight, so I can't mute nobody like I would normally mute them. Back in the day, I used to mute people when they started talking to me. But I can't say nothing.
I ain't being racist, man. I'm sorry, man. I ain't so prejudiced against skinny folks.
Yeah. He's so racist. This just don't make no sense. Go ahead, Avery. You go ahead.
Man, I'm like, man. He just messed me up right
he's
there.
Stupid, man. Boy, he's crazy. Crazy as a Betsy bug. But no, we're talking about just the main thing is, man, is that as he's establishing these boundaries, you know what I'm saying, and then when you get outside of those, and listen, let
me say, when you say, let me say this though, but as time grows, as time goes, there are times when those boundaries that were set by the spouse are gone.
Mm-hmm.
As you develop and learn each other, so man, because I want to go back to when we were talking about the friendships, I did have one friend who, when I had this terrible crush when we were kids, and so like I remember at our 10th year anniversary, 10th year class reunion, when we got home, my wife said, "Who was Blotty?" And I said blah blah blah, and she said, "Well, I just noticed that you lit up when everybody else came around. You was like, hey, but when you just lit up." And I was like, "Oh my God,
paying attention."
Yeah, but here's the thing though, we grew up. When I say like from elementary on. And of course, it's a childhood crush, but we were friends. I mean, like authentically. And so as we started hanging around, is me, her, another girl, and another guy. I mean, and we like go out all the time. And when I was saying those, sometimes those boundaries, once there's some communication and they see, man, they almost talk to her more than I do. You know what I'm saying?
See,
So everything shifts. Everything shifted in that because, like I said, sometimes as time goes, those boundaries that were set are sometimes gone, and then sometimes the one that were gone are set. You know, the dynamics of the relationship.
You build equity. You build equity, though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And in a relationship, you should. I think at a certain point, you should build equity. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Jarvis. I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
No. I just kind of wanted to piggyback off of that because, if they're supposed to shift, say you married, you going on 30-something years. You know, I'm on 18, but say you get up into when y'all married for 60 plus years, right? And then one or both of y'all end up in the nursing home. Are y'all still supposed to be faithful, or?
I'm gonna come back in 30 years and ask me that.
Okay, I asked you in 30 years. I want to know, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you go to nursing homes. I don't know how it is, but the ones that I visited, they're real friendly. You know what I'm saying?
They be getting it on in nursing homes.
So I don't know.
They got the highest STD rates in doggone nursing homes.
You stop.
I figured that.
I know it.
When my homeboys told me, he used to say, old woman used to pay, and I'm gonna shut up. I ain't gonna tell.
I ride that wheelchair and give me a rubber. What they call them?
Please.
Back in the day, they called them rubbers.
Ain't enough money. I would throw up in my
I'm just playing.
I will throw up in my. Listen, I'm gonna say like we said in Arkansas. I'm gonna say like
I was just playing. You stay faithful forever.
I'm gonna say like we said in Arkansas. I would throw up. I'm gonna
throw up
right up. I'm throwing up. Listen. I just throw up in my mouth right then.
I know. I see what you're down there doing, Earl. I see you. You got to come out that room sometime.
Listen, man. I'm too prophetic. I can see what you say. Please stop saying that. I'm about to throw
Man, hey,
I haven't even eaten yet.
Man, where's that little house on the prairie team music yet?
Man, hold on. Hey, listen,
Avery, hey, you back to Avery?
I ain't got no doggone little house on the prairie, but man, I got to do this. But no, real talk, Jarvis, Avery, man, I appreciate y'all again, man, for jumping in and conversing with us. I'm gonna do better. I promise y'all. Y'all know I've been trying to get moves, and I've been kind of pressed trying to get stuff taken care of. But
it's good conversation, man.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And everybody that's listening, I appreciate you all. Y'all check out the reels. I have reels out this week. We'll do a replay before the week is out. Avery is the man. Jarvis is the man. We missed Marion tonight, but we'll get him back. We're gonna get some ladies on here so these ladies can come back because I know they want to be a part of the conversation as well. But it's been real. If you want to support the platform, please, ma'am, please, sir, feel free to platform. Jarvis, you got any closing words for the music?
Hey, man. No. It was a great conversation, man. If we covered a gamut of topics, but the biggest thing that we covered, man, is that Avery said is your own person that you love's triggers, do's and don'ts. Stay within those boundaries. Stay within those realms, man. That's the only thing that keeps it healthy for me.
Go ahead, Avery.
Ditto. Know your spouse, know yourself. Make sure you cover one another, and don't be a racist.
Hey, listen, y'all know. I don't ever give them a topic before the show starts. So this is 100% organic. Hell, I didn't even know what we were going to talk about tonight. So here's what it is. I appreciate y'all for being in the moment, and y'all came through again. So I appreciate it. Listen, got a new word for y'all. The world is changing. My question for you is, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good week. We'll check you out next week. Bye-bye. Intellectual.